I recently played a game that you've probably seen some of your favorite creators of all time play. I'd completely forgotten about this game until I was watching Swagger Soul's Best of 2024 video in which he featured said game. Unless you completely missed the title, the name of the game is SuckUp. If you haven't heard of this game before, that title might throw you through a whirlwind. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the game is as well as my experience, throw a couple of clips in here from my streams as well as videos that I've been posting here recently, some of which are still going out. In this game, you play a vampire trying to use all the clothing around this little city to your advantage to try to get people to invite you into their house. That alone will drive some people to play this game. Each person whose house you knock on is actually controlled by a generative AI. They consider everything that you're saying, even down to the clothes that you're wearing, based on if they're even going to let you in. Now, I noticed while I was playing that a lot of these characters have very interesting names, some suggesting that they have some level of depression or a certain interest that you can use to spin to your advantage. One character of which that I went against was an anime-loving nerd, and to convince him to let me in, I told him that the munchies that I had were manga munchies, many flavors, gave him the example of it being ramen flavored from the ramen shop in Naruto, and that guy was absolutely hooked. He couldn't wait to let me into his house, and little did he know, whenever he did, I would pop out of my clothing, pause, and bite down on his neck, thus turning him into the snack. Now, this game has two ways of playing, one of which is typing based, or you can even use your mic. It'll transcribe the words that you're saying to that person, and hopefully, based on what you're saying, you'll be able to get in their front door. Now, there are some components to this game that you have to take into consideration, one of which being whenever these characters don't let you in, they hard slam that door. And since it's nighttime, the night watch of the police on your trail. In the top left corner, it shows a badge system on how aware they are of you, and as that creeps up, there is an ever-increasing number of cops, making this game a lot more difficult than I anticipated, even though in my playthrough, I think I only got caught about twice. Now, this game is a little bit forgiving. Whenever the police catch you, you have a chance to work your way out of it. You could do what I did in some situations and do the old little asterisks, convince him that he knows me from years ago and to let me free, asterisks. One of these cops I actually convinced to make him think I was his long-lost love from high school, and somehow that ended up working out. People are worried these days about AI, but whenever you can type something like that, convince a bot that he's known you for years and that you are his long-lost love, it gives me a sense of pause when it comes to if these are actually that much of a danger to society. This game actually features a couple of play modes. I only played through the classic one, the one where you go through 31 houses using different items in the surrounding area. I, through my playthrough, only used mainly one person and became a, how do I say this, herbal remedy grandma that pushes product to the streets. If you haven't watched the playthroughs, go ahead and check those out. I know that might put a little bit of a question mark in your brain. Also to mention, this game isn't in Steam. You actually have to go to the SuckUp website, which will be down in the description, for you to even purchase this game. I was a bit thrown off by this because I can't remember the last time that I purchased a game outside of Steam in about 4 to 6 years. Now, the disguises in this game, whenever you're trying to get people's houses, can be pretty wacky. You can mix aspects of many other clothing, and the AI will react in such a way as to ask, "What are you doing showing up to my house?" Being dressed like some concoction of a dude with a butterfly wing, a police hat, and a walkie-talkie. Back to the aspect about the police for a quick second. If a police officer is running after you and you do want to make a quick escape, just tap your shift button, you'll turn into a bat and simply fly away to hopefully cover. Now, as these cops are increasing, do be aware of the fact that they will show up literally everywhere. I got surprised right after talking to somebody and biting their neck with a 180-degree turn straight to a cop's face. Now, as per usual for my 10-cent videos, I'm going to give you my input on this game as a whole, as well as if I think that you should purchase this. I want to say off rip, you definitely should get this game. With a price tag of about $15, it's really hard to beat. Like I said, there are many modes, one of which is the classic, like I said, 31 houses. Try to get into all of their houses without getting caught. Pretty simple. Really fun introduction to the game and offers for a lot of playability. You can load this up many times, try different disguises, and see how far you can get with each individual. There is another one that is a Valentine's Day aspect where you try to pit two lovers against each other. Try to talk smack to one, and after you convince one of them to break up with each other, you take a letter from them and deliver it to the other lover. They, of course, are surprised by the fact that something has gone awry in their relationship, ask you for a chance of how they can fix it. You can say something that actually makes it worse, and the drama unfolds. It's definitely an interesting aspect to this game. It seems a little bit diabolical, but then again, it is a video game. I think there's another mode in this game. I'm purely basing this review off of the classic aspect of this because that's what most people are wanting to play whenever they see these videos. That is kind of what I had expected from the game. Getting into it was the classic version. Like I said, you should 100% buy this game if you have the spare change. Go onto their website in the description and check it out. I give this game a solid, I'd say 7.5. It's nothing too crazy. The graphics are pretty bland. Inside the houses, there's no more detail than just the character and their clothes whenever you bite them. I'm not exactly sure how you could improve upon this game unless there was some very high detailed, graphic intensive way of making it just basically mimic a AAA game. For what it is, 7.5. I think that's not bad. Now, if it was lower price, like $5, I think I'd give this like an 8, 8.5. But for $15, 7.5 is where I'm going to stick. I did an entire playthrough on stream in one go. It's only a couple hours worth of playtime in the first classic series. And like I said, it's open to playability multiple times over. You can go in there and have a one individual costume and decide, I want to run through this entire game and see what I can do. That's kind of how my approach was. Or you could just mix and match, talk smack to the AI and see if you can get as heinous as possible and they'll still let you in. There were a couple of times where I was like, how is this going so south? And somehow managed to bring it all back together. If you guys want to check out the videos of me playing SuckUp, please go down in the description. I'm going to have a playlist of all of those that are currently uploaded. If you see this later in the future, they're probably all up. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.